Hello everyone, this is Athar Vashne and this is the fourth video of my Chrome extensions playlist. In this video, we are going to see how to create onboarding page and uninstall page. So first let us see the demo of our extension. If I install my extension, now this immediately onboarding page is open. If I enter my name and hit get started, that page is closed, and if I open the pop-up, it shows your name is Athar Vashne. Now if I show you the uninstall page by removing this extension, remove. This youtube.com URL is open. You can enter any URL to be open in the uninstall URL. So let's get started. So first we need to create the manifest file, manifest.json. Inside that we'll define the name of our extension, the description, and the version of our extension. So for now we'll keep the version of our extension as 1.0.0, and whenever we'll update our extension, we'll update this version also. After that, we need to define manifest version. We are going to use manifest version 3 in this video, as this is the latest version, and manifest version 2 is outdated, and the support for manifest version 2 will be removed from Chrome by January 2023. So that's why we are using manifest version 3. Also, we need to define some actions. Inside actions, we can define some default icons and default pop-ups, and a lot more. You can read the documentation for more. And for now we'll just define the default pop-up. We'll not include any icons. So default pop-up as popup.html. Okay, and then the background. Inside background we'll define the service worker as background.js. So in manifest version 3 we use service worker, that's why we are naming it service worker. After that we'll need to list out all the permissions which we need. For this video we'll just use storage permission to store whether the user is onboarded or not in chrome.storage. Now let us save this manifest file and create these two files, popup.html and background.js. So now we have created popup.html, background.js, onboarding.html and uninstall.html. So let us first type the boilerplate code in popup.html. The title will keep it as popup, and in the body, for now let us just type a paragraph tag with the text demo. Now we'll keep it that much only, and import this locally into our Chrome. So you need to click on this top right three dots, then more tools, and then extensions. Open the extensions page and then enable the developer mode if not, and then click on load and pack and onboarding to select the folder, and our extension is now loaded. If I open the pop-up, it says demo, as we have mentioned this inside our popup.html. Okay, so first let us define the onboarding.html. I've copied the HTML, so that's not much. That's just a heading with title here there, and the ID as title, and a div with input as name, the input with the type text and ID name, and enter your name as in the span, and a button get started. So that's just a form thing, and basic styling, which is the body as flexbox and centering out everything which is inside body. Okay, so now our onboarding.html is done. We'll write some logic to open this page whenever our extension is imported or installed. So for that we need to type runtime.uninstalled.add listener, and this listener will take E, and for now what we'll do is console.log E. Okay, chrome.runtime.uninstalled.add listener, and then console.log E. Now let us load our extension again, so that our this method is called installed. Okay, onboarding select. Now if we check the console, we got an object, and this object has reason install. So what we are going to do is we will check if the region is installed or not, because this can be another thing also. So for that we'll use if e dot reason, as this is an object, as you can see, which has a key reason equals um, not we are not going to directly write if e dot reason equals install, but rather we are going to use this chrome dot runtime dot on install reason dot install. This returns a string with install only, but in for future, if Chrome updates this reason, so this will also be updated, so we need not update our extension again. So this is a good practice to use. Now if the reason is installed, what we'll do is chrome dot tabs dot create, and this create will take an object with URL as I'll define as onboarding dot html. So now what we are doing is, whenever our extensions is installed, we are checking it here. Then just create a new tab with onboarding.html in it. This is the onboarding.html. Now let us again install our extension. See, now as soon as I install our extension, this page is open. This is the onboarding.html. And right now this button will not do anything, because we haven't written any logic, but our onboarding page is up and running. So now let's quickly write some logic for onboarding.html not html.js. Yeah. Now inside that, what we'll do is, first of all we need to take these elements, this heading, this input, and this button. So document dot add event listener DOM content loaded and an arrow function. So DOM content loaded will be triggered whenever our content in the DOM or this body or this everything is being successfully loaded. Whenever that is the case, just we'll define input as document dot get element by id, and what was the id? That was name for our input. Okay, name. And we also define button in the similar way, btn, and the id was btn, and the last thing is the heading, which is id title. So again, get element by id title. Okay, now what we'll do is, we'll input dot add event listener. This will add an event listener if key up. So that means the user has pressed a key and released it. So he has lifted his finger up. That's why it is key up. So whenever the user has pressed a key and his finger is up, that means the letter is being typed. Now if a new character is being added or removed, we'll listen that in this arrow function. We'll do input dot value. We are going to define this title as title dot inner html, inner text, sorry, not html, inner text as input dot value. So now what this should do is, whenever I will type anything here, this text should be shown over here, but we need not show that right here. But what we need to do is, here, there, then this text, because this is our name. So let us just simply append that here, there, and our name, and this emoji also, let me copy that, and this, yeah. Now if we again remove and install our extension, select, Now we got this, hey there, this, and if I enter a name A, okay, this is not getting updated, right? Let me check what's the issue. No issues. Oh, okay, sorry. I have created this onboarding.js, but I haven't imported that right here. So I need to do script src onboarding.js. Okay. Now again reload our reinstall our extension, not reload. Onboarding, select folder, and now if I type something, yeah, we got hey there, ad. If I type athar, it will show hey there athar, and like that. Now what we need to do is whenever the user will press this button, we'll set a boolean that onboarding is now done, and close this tab also, and save this name also. Too many things, but that's simple. Now what we need to do is before we are opening an onboarding page, what we need to do is just simply set something in storage, Chrome storage, storage dot local dot set, and is onboarding done false. So what I'm doing here is I'm setting is onboarding done in the Chrome storage as false before opening that onboarding page, because whenever our extension is installed, our storage will have the onboarding is not done yet. Now it is not done because we haven't entered it over here and we haven't clicked this. This page is just opened. Now whenever this button is clicked, we need to save is onboarding done as true, because now the onboarding is done. So we are just doing or set this is onboarding done false before creating that onboarding. Now when this button will be clicked, we need to set that as true. So let us do that. bdn.add event listener, click, and arrow function. What we'll do is chrome dot storage dot local dot set is let me copy that so that no spelling mistake is there. Okay, as true. And also before setting this, what we need to do is set the name also, because we need to set this name to show in that pop-up. So let me copy that, and chrome.local.storage.set user name as input.value. Okay. Okay, so we are setting the name and is onboarding done true. Let us reinstall our extension, remove and select. This is opened. Okay, if I type athar, hey there athar, okay, get started. Oh, we need to type that this window should also be closed. First let us check that is our extension storage is updated or not. Let me check storage is full. So yeah, we got is onboarding done as true and the username as athar. And if I show you before setting our onboarding done, now onboarding is not done yet, it is just open. Let us see our storage. Yeah, we got is onboarding done false. Now what we are going to do in pop-up, whenever this pop-up is open, we'll first listen that is the onboarding done or not. If that is done, that means the username will be set. So we are just listening that is onboarding done. If it is so, we'll display the name, and if it is not the case, we'll display that please set up your account on onboarding page. So let us do that quickly. In popup.html, we'll type script src popup.js, which we'll create popup.js, and inside that document dot add event listener dom content loaded row function, and chrome dot storage dot local dot get, and that will take in a list with is onboarding done. Let me paste that. Yeah, is onboarding done, and arrow function with the value. We name it as value, and if value equals true, that means the onboarding is done. We'll display the name. So uh, in this P, for let me just copy and paste this heading and styling also. That will do nothing. Just set up basic flex box for us, and the heading, ID, title, and this will initially contain please set up your account on onboarding page. Okay. Okay. We'll also take const title equals document dot get element by ID title. Now after getting the title, if the onboarding is done, we'll set the title dot inner text, title dot inner text as your name is, and the value, no, not the value. We'll also need to first fetch the name from the promoter storage. So now whenever is onboarding done is true, value is true, we need to fetch the username. Chrome dot uh, Chrome dot storage dot local dot get user name, and again the same syntax. Now we'll fetch the username. It is fetched in here in this arrow function name, and we'll set the text inner text as your name is the name. So now let me explain what I have written over here. I have written document dot add event listener DOM content loaded, so that whenever this DOM is successfully loaded, then we'll take the title dot get element by ID title as the H1 ID is title, and after that we'll fetch is onboarding done, and inside this arrow function value. If the value is true, that means is onboarding done is true. That means the onboarding is now completely done and the username is set. Then we'll, if the value is true, you are fetching the username and setting in the title dot inner text is your name is name. And if that is false, what we'll do is else uh, we'll do nothing, because the value for this h1 is please set up your account on onboarding page as the default value. So if we'll not set it as anything else, then it will remain the same. Okay, now if we reload our extension, remove onboarding, select, okay, help, get started. Need to write the logic for closing this window also. We'll do that in a bit. Onboarding demo. Okay, we got please set up your account on onboarding page. Okay. We got that true, but it is showing that. Is there any error? No. And that was my mistake. We'll not get value directly as true or false. We need to do value dot is onboarding done, because we get that as an object. Value dot is onboarding done, and name dot username dot user name. Now this should work. Close, remove, reinstall, third, get started. Okay, And onboarding demo, your name is Athar. Okay, we got this. Perfect. Now in onboarding JS, when we are setting that, uh, after setting this, we'll take the arrow function. So after setting is what onboarding done true, we need to type window dot close, so that our onboarding done should close after setting this onboarding done. Okay, reload, or sorry, remove, and onboarding select her. And now if I hit get started, that window is closed, and inside our pop-up we got your name is Athar. Perfect. Now only one thing is remaining, the keyboard shortcut. So that's actually pretty simple. Inside manifest.json, we just need to paste this commands. I've copied this from this docs. You can also view this. I'll link that down in the description. So we'll just define our suggested key for Chrome OS, Linux, Mac, and Windows. We'll define that Alt Shift. Uh, Let us define that as. By the way, you can press Alt and click anywhere to add multiple cursors in VS Code. So we'll define Alt plus Shift plus G, or Alt plus Shift plus O. I've saved this, and now if I reload and press Alt, see my cursor is here, Alt Shift G. Oh sorry, Alt Shift O. See, our extension is now open. So that was pretty simple. Just inside commands, you can type execute action, suggested key, and for different platforms, you can provide different keys. The final thing which we can do is define the uninstall page. So inside background.js, we can simply type one single line for that. Chrome.runtime.set uninstall URL. URL is capital. Please take care of that, and set it as any URL, https colon slash www.youtube.com. You can define any URL, but there's a catch. You cannot define any local file in here, because now our extension is being removed from Chrome. So no file can be accessed via Chrome because that's now removed. That's why we need to use any website URL over here. So we define chrome.runtime.set uninstall URL as youtube.com. Save that, and if we reload, remove, and again install our extension. Okay, it started, and if we hit remove, see, as soon as I hit remove, this youtube.com is open. I'll close that. So you can define any URL of your website, and you can take feedback in there, and in onboarding, or you can tell the user how to use your extension.